One statement in what follows cannot be true in reality. The incident happened at the old Mercer Street loading yard. It is a fenced rectangle behind some empty warehouses. The yard has one sliding gate at the front for trucks. At the back, against the wall, there is a small generator shed. The shed has two doors. One small door on the back wall faces the alley behind the yard. That door is rusted shut and has not been used in years. The main door faces into the yard and opens outward. The shed has no windows. The timeline came from a security guard who walked past the front gate at 11:30 p.m. and again at 12:15 a.m. Sometime between those two times, Marcus Halliday was killed. He was a night watchman. A heavy iron weight fell from a loading crane and hit him. The crane was parked near the center of the yard. The weight was about the size of a small suitcase and weighed 60 pounds. It fell straight down onto him as he walked under the crane arm. 3 people were at the yard that night. Each gave a statement. Leo Granger was a mechanic hired to fix the crane. He said he arrived just after 11 p.m. He drove his van through the gate and parked near the left fence. He got his tools and worked on the crane's winch at the base of the crane. He said he saw Marcus arrive on foot through the small door in the gate at about 11:25 p.m. Leo called out. Marcus waved and walked toward the back of the yard. Leo kept working with his head down. He heard a loud metal clang at some point but thought nothing of it. He figured Marcus was moving something metal. Later he heard a truck approaching. He looked up and saw a delivery truck enter at about 12:10 a.m. He then walked to the back to find Marcus and sign off on the repair work. That is when he found the body near the crane. Leo had grease on his hands and coveralls. His tools were on the ground by the crane. Donna Reed was a driver for a bakery. She said she had a scheduled pickup at the yard that night. She arrived at the front gate at exactly 12:10 a.m. The main sliding gate was open just enough for her truck to pass. She drove in and parked near the center. Her headlights lit up the yard. She saw a man she later identified as Leo Granger standing near the crane. She also saw what looked like a pile of sacks near the crane base. She turned off her engine and waited. Leo came to her truck and asked if she had seen the watchman. She said no. Then Leo walked toward the back. A moment later he ran back shouting for her to call for help. She called emergency services at 12:13 a.m. Phone records confirmed the time. She stayed in her truck until police came. Frank Mills was a security guard for a different company. He patrolled the area around the yard. He said he was walking the alley behind the yard at about 11:45 p.m. He stopped at the back wall of the generator shed to check the small rear door that was rusted shut. While standing there he heard voices from inside the yard. He heard 2 men arguing. He could not make out the words but the tones were angry. Then he heard a sharp metal clang. Then silence. He thought it was a dispute between workers and continued his patrol. He did not report it because he did not think it was serious. His patrol logs showed he turned a key at a checkpoint at 11:43 p.m. and again at another checkpoint at 11:58 p.m. That left time for him to be behind the yard at 11:45 p.m. These were the 3 accounts. Leo saw Marcus arrive. Donna arrived later and found Leo with the body. Frank heard an argument from outside. Leo had grease on his hands. Donna had a phone call. Frank had key turns in his log. But the first officer at the scene noted something else. The ground was dry. The body was near the crane. And the small generator shed at the back had its main door wide open. The door faced into the yard and opened outward. Inside there was nothing but an old generator and some empty oil drums. The door was just standing open. When police later asked about it, no one claimed to have opened it. Leo said he never left the crane. Donna said she never left her truck. Frank said he was outside the back wall and could not have opened it from there. The yard manager said the shed was always kept locked. The padlock was found hanging open on the latch, Not broken, just unfastened. Someone inside the yard had opened that door. But no one mentioned it. Now think about the yard. It is a simple rectangle. The crane is in the middle. The shed is at the back with its main door facing inward. The front gate is the only way in or out for vehicles. A person can also use the small door in the gate. Leo arrived by van before Marcus came on foot. Donna arrived later by truck. Frank was outside the back wall. The weight fell from the crane arm about 15 feet high. That means someone had to be directly under it when it fell. Marcus was that someone. The bolt that held the weight had snapped from metal fatigue. It could have fallen at any time. One of them is lying. Can you spot the lie? You have 5 seconds. The lie is in Leo Granger's statement, but not because of the grease on his hands or his tools near the crane. It is because of what he said about the clang. Leo said he was working at the base of the crane the whole time. He had his head down. He heard a loud metal clang. He thought nothing of it. He assumed Marcus was moving something metal against the fence. Later he found Marcus dead under the same crane. Here is the problem. The clang Leo heard was the 60-pound weight falling from the crane onto Marcus. If Leo was working at the base of the crane, he would have been just a few feet away. He would have seen Marcus walk up to the crane. He would have seen him stand under the arm. He would have seen the weight fall and hit him. He would not have just heard a noise and gone back to work. He would have known exactly what happened. The only way Leo could have heard the clang from a distance and not seen it is if he was not at the crane. But his statement says he was at the crane the whole time. That cannot be true. If he was at the crane, he witnessed the death. If he witnessed the death, he would not describe it as just hearing a clang and assuming Marcus was moving metal. His own words give him away. The open shed door supports this. Someone opened that door. Leo claims he never left the crane. But the door was opened from inside the yard. The only people who could have opened it were Leo or Marcus. If Marcus opened it, he would have done so when he walked toward the back. But then later he walked to the crane and was killed. That is possible. But then why was the door found open? Marcus would have had no reason to leave it open. And if he opened it, Leo would have seen him do it from the crane. Leo never mentions it. More likely, Leo opened it himself at some point. That means he left the crane. That matches the idea that he was not at the crane when the weight fell. So the lie is in Leo's description of the clang. He could not have been at the crane and only heard it. He would have seen it. Therefore his statement is impossible. So where does reality break? It breaks the moment you realize that if you were standing next to a crane and a man was killed right there, you would not mistake it for someone moving metal against a fence. You would know. And you would say so.